And then we saw the forms of political participation and the purpose of political participation. So we said political participation has to do with the involvement of people in political activities or in the decision making of their country. Then last week we also said that people can participate in politics in so many ways. We said people can participate in politics through voting in elections. Then an individual can also participate in political activities through contesting elections. And then we also mentioned observatory political participation. Then we also said that people can participate in politics through supporting candidates for elective posts. Then we also said that one can participate in political activities through belonging to a political party. This was what we said last week. Then we also mentioned the purpose of political participation, decision making. Now, some people participate in politics to do what? To contribute their quota in the decision making of the country. That was what we said last week. Then we also said that people also participate in political activities to help in the management of the nation's resources. Then some people take part in politics because the past government failed to do their work very well. So some people an individual can decide to get involved in a political activity to correct the past mistakes made by the past government. Then some people also participate in politics because they see it as an avenue for making money. And then some also take it as an occupation. So today, I told you last week to read ahead of me. I said you should read centralization and decentralization. So today we are going to treat the topic centralization and decentralization. Centralization and decentralization. Now, when you're talking about centralization, you're talking about the concentration of power in a single authority. The concentration of government power in a single authority, preferably the central government. Now, in this system of government, there is nothing like division of power or sharing of power between the central and the other component units. Now, when you're talking about the other component units, you're talking about the state and the local government. Then still, in a decentralized administration, decisions are solely taken by the central government, and then they now pass it down to the other components, that's the state and the local government. Then in this system still, the local government doesn't have full autonomy. When we're talking about autonomy here, we're talking about independence. So the local government is not fully independent in this system of government. And centralization is often seen in a unitary system of government, because you can see it in the definition. A unitary government is that type of government where power is centralized. So this centralization is often seen in a unitary government where power is only centralized in the central government. You see now. So we have some countries that practice this system. So I should say that the country that practices centralization in the other way around is also practicing a unitary government. Now, examples of countries that practice such systems, we have Denmark, Switzerland, Finland, and so on and so forth. Then decentralization. If you're talking about decentralization, you're talking about the sharing of political power between the central and the other component units. Now I told you that if you're talking about the other component units, you're talking about the state and what? The local government. Now, decentralization is often found in a federal system of governments. For instance, in Nigeria, this is what we practice because there is the division of power between the central government and the other levels of what? Government. So Nigeria is a typical example of what? A decentralized system of government. USA also is another example of a decentralized system of government. Now let me write the definition on the board. Okay. So I said centralization can be defined as the concentration of government powers or authority on a single authority, preferably the central government. That is centralization. Then we said decentralization can be seen or can be defined as the sharing of power or division of power between the central government and other component units. Then we're going to see the merits of a centralized administration. That's this one. We're going to see the merits or the advantages of a centralized administration or centralization. Now, costs is one of the advantages of a centralized administration. We have costs as one of the merits. Now, a centralized government is not costly compared to a decentralized government. Why? Because activities and functions are not duplicated. duplicated in a centralized system of government. But in a decentralized system, you find out that there is what? The duplication of what? Function. So because there is no duplication of function in a centralized government, that system is not what? Costly. Then another point again is it makes for quick decision. Number 2. It's also seen as one of the merits of a centralized administration. Now, decisions are taken so fast in a centralized administration. Why? Because decisions are only taken by the central government. Now remember, in the definition we said that decisions are solely taken by what? By the central authority. So one of the merits of a centralized government is that it makes for a quick decision in the areas of decision making and what? Implementation. And it is because it is only the central government that takes what? Decision. Then another merit of a centralized administration is that it makes for a strong government. Now the central government is strong. Reasons being that all powers and authority are what? Concentrated only in the central government. Remember we said in a centralized administration there is nothing like what? The division of power among the levels of government. Then number 4. Number 4, there is no conflict of authority. There is no conflict of authority because power still is centered on what? The central government. So that is why in this system there is nothing like what? Confusion when it comes to what? Carrying out an activity. Then let us see the demerit of a centralized administration. Now anything that has an advantage must surely do what? Have a disadvantage. Now let us see some of the demerits of a centralized administration. Some of the demerits. One is stagnation. Stagnation. Now this system makes for stagnation in the local government because it doesn't quickly attend or respond to the problem of what? The local government. Now had there been power is what? Is divided in this system, you find that the local government will try to attend to their problem even before the central government comes towards their aid. So this system of government causes stagnation in the local government level. Then the next one is dictatorship. This system encourages what? Dictatorship. Now we said that a dictator is somebody that dictates. He tells you what to do and you must adhere to it. Now when power is only centered on the central government, that president or that level at the end of the day may end up to be what? A dictator. Because powers are what? Only centered on the central government. So this system of government may encourage what? Dictatorship. Then we talked about homogeneous factor. Homogeneous factor is another demerit. Now most of the countries that practice a centralized administration do not have much difference in culture, belief, and what? Religion. So this system is often practiced in countries that have the same belief, the same political belief, the same culture, and so on and so forth. Then amendment of the constitution is another demerit. amendments of the Constitution. Now, because power is centered only on the central government, they can decide to amend the Constitution just for their selfish interest, because power is only focused, or power is more concentrated where in the central government. Then let us see the merits of a decentralized administration. The merits of what? A decentralized administration. Merits of a decentralized administration. 1. Quick development. Now, there is quick development in this system of government. Why is it so? It is so because all the other levels of government have the opportunity to do what? To develop their own areas, even as faster as possible than the other levels of government. Now, the local government can decide to develop faster than the central government. The same thing goes towards the state. So that is why we said in this system there is what? Quick development. Now, they must not wait for the central government to give them the go-ahead before anything begins to happen in their own area of jurisdiction. So in a centralized administration, there is what? Quick development. Then it brings the government closer to the people. Yes. Because local government is the government at the grassroots. Now, this system of government brings the government closer to the people. It is so because we said that power is what? Divided or shared between the central government and other component units, which are what? The state and the local government. And then the local government is a government at the grassroots level. So you can see that this system of government brings what? Government closer to the people. At least the local government is somehow closer to you. So that is why this system brings what? The government closer to the people. Then we have wider consultation as one of the merits of a centralized administration. Wider consultation. Number 3, we have wider consultation. Now, the central government cannot do anything or cannot just take decisions without involving the other components. So they cannot neglect either the state or what? The local government when it comes to what? Decision making. So that is why we said that a decentralized administration goes for a wider consultation when it comes to what? Decision making and implementation. Then let's see the next one. It reduces the workload of the federal government. We're talking about the merits of what? A decentralized administration. It reduces the workload of the central government. Now, with the creation of the states and local government, you found out that the job of the central government is somehow what? Reduced. But I wish there was nothing like states and local government. You found out that the central government will find it so difficult to make decisions and to carry out some activities mostly because of the workload involved. So in this system of administration, it helps to reduce the workload of what? The central government. Then lastly, it helps to do what? To make politics more stable. I don't need to explain that. Then let's see the demerits of a decentralized administration, demerits or disadvantages of a Now, one of the demerits of a centralized administration is costly to operate. Costly to operate. Now, this is so in a decentralized administration because much functions are created in this system. There is often much duplication of what functions in a decentralized administration. Such is not the case in a centralized administration. And that is why a centralized administration is not what? Costly. But a decentralized administration is costly because of what? The repetition of function in the system. Then number 2, delay in the decision-making process. Now, because of this wider consultation, remember I told you that the central government cannot just take decisions without involving or neglecting the component units, as the state and local government. Now, because of this wider consultation, there is often what? Delay in the decision-making process under the decentralized administration. Then we have weak center as one of the demerits of the decentralized administration. Weak center. Now, the central government is often weak in a decentralized administration. Why? Because of the power given to the state and what? The local government. We said in a centralized administration that the central government is strong because it doesn't share its power with what? Other components. But here, the central government is as it shares its powers with the other component units. And then the last but not the least, we have duplication of positions in government. Duplication of what? Position in government. We find that in a decentralized administration, there is often what? The duplication of functions. So that is why also it makes it more what? Costly. Then I'm going to give you an assignment based on this topic. You're going to write on the forms of decentralization. Forms of what? Decentralization. Write a short note on them. One, devolution, and the other, the concentration. These are the forms of what? The concentration. Thank you for listening.